4 years ago, in the middle of COVID, Apple dropped this, the 13 Pro. At the time, it had everything what we asked for. Fast forward today, now we have this, the 17 Pro. So the big question is, if you're still holding on to that 13 Pro, is the 17 Pro finally the phone to upgrade to? The 13 is right on that 3 to 4 year upgrade window, so let's break it down. Let's see from the design, from the hardware, software, and cameras, and let's see if the upgrade is worth it. Alright, starting off with the design, the 13 Pro was the first one that gave us that smaller notch, and arguably had the best iPhone colors ever. You got this polished stainless steel frame, a glass back, and the classic silent switch, and of course the lighting connector. This was also the first one to introduce the 120Hz Pro Motion display, which was a huge deal at the time, and the peak brightness is 1200 nits. Now talking about first, the 17 Pro is the first Pro phone to get this new aluminium unibody design. That includes this new camera plateau, the action button, the camera control button, and finally the USB-C port. The screen also got a little larger on both models, 6.3 inch for the Pro and 6.9 inch for the Pro Max, with a crazy high peak brightness of 3000 nits. And when you compare them side by side, you can see the massive difference. I mean, this is the 17 Pro Max, and just looking at the 13 Pro bezels, this one looks ancient. And holding them, even though this is the 17 Pro Max, technically the bigger model, the 13 Pro feels much heavier. And the 17 Pro also has these smooth rounded edges, so it feels way more comfortable to hold than the flat stainless steel on the 13 Pro, which really digs into your palm, which it holds an absurd amount of fingerprints too. Now I have to mention the 17 Pro's one major flaw, the scratch resistance. Everyone has been complaining about this since day one. These phones seems to be cracking and scratching from even light drops. That's a major concern if you plan to use this phone until it dies, because one bad drop and it's kinda done. But does that really matter when you're just putting on a case? Probably not. And talking about performance, the 13 Pro has the A15 Bionic chip and the 17 Pro has the A19 Pro. And this one comes with a vapor chamber for cooling. And looking at Geekbench scores, my 13 Pro gets around 2343 single core and 5644 with multi-core with 6 gigs of RAM. And the 17 Pro is scoring around 9700 in single core and over 10,000 in multi-core with 12 gigs of RAM. That's basically M2 level performance. So after all these years, let's see if the 13 Pro can still hold up. From day-to-day stuff, opening apps, swiping through a Safari, texting, scrolling on TikTok, they feel exactly the same. Like seriously, it's almost like there's no improvement on the 17 Pro. So I wanted to push it. I got this 4K 50 frames 5-minute video loaded up in the Edits app, which I'm going to export in both phones. Let's see if the M2 level chip with the vapor chamber can crush the 13 Pro. And as expected, the 17 Pro crushed my 13 Pro. So here's the conclusion on the performance. For day-to-day stuff, you won't notice any difference. Your TikTok scrolling speed is the same, don't worry. But if you're a creator using CapCut or Premiere Pro on your phone, you're going to see a massive difference. Also in gaming, the performance aside, that vapor chamber is really gonna help with the cooling. And while I was doing the test, I noticed two major differences. First, the temperature. The 13 Pro was hot as a stove. Meanwhile, the 17 Pro's efficient chip and the vapor chamber with the unibody really helped keeping the phone cool. The second difference was the battery. Now my 13 Pro's battery health is 77, so it's not a fair comparison at all. But while pushing the phone, it dropped 2%. While the more efficient A19 Pro with a bigger battery only dropped 1%. As my 13 Pro has gotten older, I have to charge it multiple times a day. Speaking of the chips, I got iOS 26 installed on both of these phones. As a 13 Pro owner, I thought it would be really demanding. But on both of these phones, it looks and works perfectly. The real difference is some of the software lock features like Apple Intelligence, and of course the hardware depending stuff like the dynamic island, the action button, and the new camera control button. In this 4-year leap, all of the cameras have been updated. On the 13 Pro, all of the cameras are 12 megapixel, while on the 17, all of them are 48. And the 13 has a 3x optical zoom, while the 17 has an 8x crop zoom. I took both phones outside to test the cameras, and these are the results. The This is where the 17 Pro crushes it. The sensor is much bigger and higher quality, so you can definitely get more detail and more natural colors. If you don't want to zoom in, I think the main camera on the 13 Pro still looks fine, but the second you want to zoom in, that 4x optical and 8x cropped telephoto on the 17 Pro just shows its strengths. Looking at video, the iPhone video still is the best on any smartphone, and honestly the 13 Pro still holds up, but of course the 17 Pro has much better dynamic range and detail. The biggest difference is you get more software features. On the 17 Pro you get 4K 120 log recording, external recording through USB-C, OpenGate, ProRAW, ProRes, photographic styles, and most of these are tied to new hardware, but all these features are just cannot get on the 13. Another big update most people are going to use is the new front camera. It is a new squared sensor, which means you can shoot wide-angle vertical or horizontal photo video while holding the phone vertically. In the 13 you have to hold the phone horizontally. After all these years, should you upgrade? For the daily user, someone just scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, texting, and just casual pictures, I don't think so. Honestly, just swap your battery for a new one and use it until this phone doesn't get updates anymore. But for the power users, the enthusiasts, or people that are who actually going to use the 48 megapixel cameras, the vapor chamber, and that super fast chip, the durability aside, it's another solid phone to upgrade. And I've only been talking about the pros, but if you have the base 13, the base 17 will be a massive upgrade. This year, the only real differences between the base and the Pro is the new look, the vapor chamber, and the chip. If you don't mind those things, this year is the closest the base model has gone to the Pro, especially now that it has Pro Motion. So what do you think? Are you upgrading from a 13 to a 17? Let me know in the comments and like and follow for more.